Okay, so hello from the top of a tree canopy. I'm currently 20 meters off of the ground, suspended between two very large trees that are quite far apart. And I am here in the direct path line of a pipeline that is supposed to be built. And so I'm here to protect these trees in order to stop the production of an oil and gas pipeline from the company Trans Mountain. So it's the Trans Mountain Expansion Pipeline. So that's why I'm here. I'm also here right now on the territories of Coast Salish people in the Brunette River area. And I just want to acknowledge that. And I'm going to, and it's day 3. I've been up here for 3 days now. So nonstop, I have not touched the ground. And I'm planning to stay up here for a while. I'm going to answer some of your questions that I've got on Twitter and on YouTube for today's video. So let's do it. Dylan R on Twitter asks, what is a good way to learn more and help you and all those like you protest against fossil fuels and pipelines? There are so many ways that you can get involved, Dylan. I would recommend just going on Facebook or on Google and searching for climate action organizations in your city or your region, wherever you are in the world. Some of the ones that I recommend are Extinction Rebellion, Sunrise Movement, 350.org, School Strikes for Future, and School Strikes for Climate and Fridays for Future. There's a number of others, but if none of those are in your area, those are a lot of the global ones. But if none of those are around, just search for climate action organizations and your location and just contact them, reach out, get involved. It's a good idea to go into those conversations with a bit of an idea of what sorts of ways you might be able to contribute in terms of your time and your power. But we need to be taking action, and we need to be doing this now. So please do that, and thank you for asking. Brant on Twitter asks, are there any long-term solutions to stop TMX that are in the works? And then it goes on to say that Dr. Takaro and I can't do this every year indefinitely. And thanks, and thank you. This is the sort of the end of the road after a very, very long series of protesting against this pipeline. I believe it's been going on for at least 6 years, for as long as a decade. I'm not entirely sure. The pipeline has changed ownership and has gone through several legal battles. This is not the first sort of action to take against a pipeline, but that's where we're at now. The goal is ultimately to delay the production, to delay the construction of this pipeline for long enough that someone in power in the government says, this is ridiculous, we shouldn't be building pipelines, we are in a climate emergency, let's build renewable energy infrastructure instead. That is the goal. Leo Frog Liddell, I believe that's how it's pronounced, asks on Twitter, why has it taken this long for the fight for ecological justice to even be noticed? And the answer to that is tragic. It's that for decades, for my entire lifetime, the major oil companies of the planet have been actively pursuing and actively promoting climate change denial, climate change skepticism, and just generally trying to take any sort of traction away from the movement. They have billions of dollars to throw into the media and into lobbying, but over the last 2 years, I think the conversation has really started to shift, and I think that people are finally waking up and starting to take action. So there's hope. Bart on Twitter asks, why does it have to be the specific trees you're hanging from that need to be cut down? What's stopping the workers from just moving the pipeline a few meters to the side and going around you? Well, so where I'm at right now, and where we're at as a camp, and again, thank you to the camp that supported me, wouldn't be here without them. But I'm right now in a very small forested area between a bunch of freight trains, so there's those tracks, and between a highway. And so frankly, there just isn't a lot of room for them to build this pipeline anywhere else along the entire region. And this is where they're allowed to build it. This is where they've been permitted to build it. And the trees that I'm suspended from are very, very far apart. I'll try to insert some footage of that. By being up here, I'm occupying almost the entire region. So yeah, there's really no way for them to just go around it, thankfully. Noah Rudolph on YouTube asks, how do you get food and water? Thankfully, and I wouldn't be up here were it not for this, there is an incredible support team on the ground beneath me, and we have a pulley system, and they're sending up food and water and coffee and anything that I need, and I'm sending empty water bottles and everything down. A pulley and a lot of very wonderful volunteer support. Edziosaur over on YouTube asks, what's your daily routine? And honestly, I really don't have one. I've been trying to get as much sleep as possible. Usually I'm woken up in the middle of the night for a couple hours by the freight trains that are just down below. I'm spending most of my day filming and editing and being on Twitter. I'm just trying to get the word out about this pipeline as much as I can. I'm also communicating a lot with the support camp down on the ground, and I've been very busy. I thought I would have a lot of time to just relax and hang out, but I've been working a lot up here. No Name on YouTube asks, does your partner share the same views as you and support what you're doing? 100%. My partner's name is Siani, and I couldn't be doing all of this without her support. She has been fantastic. She's coming by in a little bit to bring me some food and some things, and she's been helping to write some of these scripts, and she's just always been helping me on this channel. And she helped me build and seal myself in that jar, and a couple years ago. She's been wonderful. Wouldn't be able to do this without her. Taufus Bachen, I think is how that's pronounced. I'm sorry if that's wrong. On YouTube asks, does your tent sway a lot in the wind, or are you steady? It moves a lot up here. It is not because of the wind, but any motion that I do, or whenever we use the pulley with something heavy, the tent is just swinging back and forth. Not a lot, but it's kind of like being on a boat in that it's constant, which is like a very bizarre feeling, because it's one thing to be really high up. And I live in an apartment. That's not unusual. It's another thing to be high up and be able to see the whole way around you, because when I'm standing up, I can see, 360 degrees around me. But it's a completely different experience to have no rope above you, right? There's nothing, when I'm standing, there's not much above me, and I'm moving. It's a really bizarre experience, but I'm fine. I'm not getting motion sickness or anything like that. Hanson Amadeus on YouTube asks, how do you get your electricity for your electronics since there's no power outlet nearby? There certainly is no power outlet. However, we have a big battery bank up here, and I can plug my laptop into that and anything else that I need, and every couple days we send it down and someone charges it. BC here is mostly hydropowered, so yeah, it's renewable energy coming up in a battery. Carmine Varveanus, I believe, asks on YouTube, how many trees are you hanging off of? In other words, how many trees are you protecting that if they were cut down would make you fall? Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, but I am suspended right now between two very large trees, and when I say that I am in a tree, what I actually am is up in the tree canopy, and I am a long way from either of those trees, and I'm suspended in the middle of kind of like a valley here. So it really is less like I'm in a tree and more like I'm way up in the air. And part of the goal here is just to make it more difficult for them to do this work and delay them past September 15th, because that is the window of opportunity that they have to come in here to cut those trees to build this pipeline. So we're just trying to hold out until then. Uploading Jess on YouTube says, do the government/pipeline people know that you are up there? Are you in contact with them? And have you gotten any media attention? Keep it up, you're doing great. Thank you so much. There has been quite a bit of media attention so far. Not as much print media, unfortunately, but we're working on it. And the government of the local municipalities both know, and I believe they're both in support of this action against this pipeline. the local region and BC in general is not really in support of the pipeline. We have the most risk and the least to gain from it. And so they know, and we're hoping to hear from Justin Trudeau, and we're hoping to hear him say that he will halt and stop the production of this pipeline. D. Sherm on YouTube asks, how many people are taking shifts up there? How long do you stay up there at a time? How do you use the bathroom? Is it physically challenging? Lots of questions. So far, it's just been myself and Dr. Tim Takaro that have been up here. He stayed up here for 10 days. I'm not saying how long I'm planning on staying up here, but more days is my answer. And in terms of at the camp, we have a constant stream of people passing through in support, staying for as long as a night or a few nights. And it's been wonderful to have them here. I think there's probably around 50 people at this point that have come by, at least 50 that have come by in support. How do I use the bathroom is the most asked question, and the answer to that is that I have the same bucket that I had when I did Curtis in a Jar 2 years ago, and I also have bags for that. And they make these bags specifically for people that are camping out in a portaledge or in a sensitive ecosystem. They're made specifically for pooing in. So I'm using those, and that's that. Is it physically challenging? Yes, kind of. I've only been up here 3 days and my legs are feeling very, very sore. There's just not a lot of positions that I can put them in. But yeah, in general, it's been pretty easy in that way. I know I didn't get to all of them, and I will try to continue answering questions as we go along this. Just want to finish by saying, firstly, thank you to everyone that has shown support online and to everyone that is here at camp supporting me. Would not be possible without all of you. Thank you. Please continue sharing this story and sharing this message. We need to stop this pipeline and pipelines like it. And thanks for watching. Here come the trains.